You're listening to Season 6 of Three Angry Giant Fans and Jet Fan Podcast, brought to you by Rugged Uncle and Carolina Beer Temple. Join us each week as we go over news and notes of the Jets and Giants, give our pet peeves, and basically just gripe about our team's dismal performances as of late. Also go to our website, angryfootballfans.com, and download our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We have a lot of fun doing this. We enjoy all of our fans. Go Jets and go Giants.
What did you see in the way that they were playing in the secondary to limit Malik and Wandell's?
Yeah, I mean, they played a fair amount of split safety. So, we got a bunch of split safety last week. Just didn't get the job done this week with it.
Why do you think you couldn't get Malik the ball? I mean, obviously didn't have a catch going into the fourth quarter there.
Yeah, we got to do a better job with that. No question about it.
What do you attribute that to? Game plan, quarterback?
Probably a collection of everything, Pat. Probably a collection of everything. Again, they were playing a lot of split safety coverage. They played it last week. Could be just a little bit different, but I'd say a collection of all that. We certainly got to do a better job with it.
Was the plan with Andrew Thomas? Or did he?
Yeah, we were going to give him 25 plays, so that's what we gave him. And he came out, from what I understand, just fine. So that was the next step for the ramp up for him. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more this upcoming week.
So that is Brian Daboll's press conference where he says the Giants need to do better. Says that, Neighbors didn't get a catch until the fourth quarter. We need to do better. The whole concept of needing to do better. Of course you do. You guys suck. You're 0-3. We need to do better. We're going to get into dissecting the coaching. We're going to dissect some of the plays here. But Daboll, need to do better isn't part of it. Answer the question on why we're not targeting Neighbors before the third quarter. Why we're not, we'll get into the stats, but this is ridiculous. Giants just failed. They failed on another national spotlight game. Nothing new. Jets failed too. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I don't want to jump into defending the Giants first thing. That's the last thing I want to do. But just before I came up, I was watching the Baltimore game, and they're talking about Lamar Jackson and his wonderful record on Monday night, and how he's such a stud on Monday night, and I'm watching the clips and highlights of these awesome plays he's making on Monday night, and it's the Browns, it's the Colts, it's Jacksonville, it's it's shit teams, and I'm like, well, maybe the Giants would be better if they got a Monday night game against fucking Jacksonville every once in a while. But
that'd be nice.
That'll be my last defense of the Giants tonight.
Well, if you guys remember my pet peeve from last week, I think it was Daboll's press conference and his monotone, robotic-like responses that we got to do better. We got to look at the tape. Let me give you a couple things I want to start with, Scott. Right away, I saw a headline: the 0-3 Giants evaluating everything for QB1 spot. No, you're not evaluating everything. I went to read that headline like, I guess, from top to bottom, everyone's ass is on the line. They're talking about QB1. We'll get into that, I'm sure, tonight as far as the quarterback. But let me give you one more thing on Brian Daboll before we really get into this. Brian Daboll now ranks 186th out of 204 NFL head coaches, minimum of 50 games in career winning percentage. The Giants brought back 10 of 11 starters on offense, the same head coach, the same GM from last year's 3-14 team. They've now lost 17 of their last 20 games. It's Daboll, it's the coaches, it's the system, it's everything. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Novak, any commentary on the Giants first?
That's awesome, Cardone.
I mean, I have so much commentary on the Giants. I just I don't even know where to start either with this team. I mean, it is painful to watch, and the one thing that I really want to go to right out of the gate for me was that Scatterboo has a nice run, and it's almost like the Giants said, wait a minute, he might be good. Let's go to him 100 times now.
Yep.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, a first down. Let's give him the ball 15 times in the next 20 plays. Like, there's no creativity. It was an embarrassment. And this is I don't want to step on my pet peeve. This historically proud franchise, half that stadium was red of Chiefs fans.
Yep.
Half.
Yeah.
I mean, come
So-
on.
To Mike's point too, though, what broadcast ever shows the percentage
No.
of opposing fans before the game starts?
I've never seen that before.
They're doing a scan of the stands and going, oh, there's a lot of red in the stands, and this is like before kickoff.
They used to do things like in Dallas where they would purposely keep the camera away from fans of the other team to make it look, and not with the Giants. We pan the whole stadium and say, oh, there's a lot of red out there. Was it 50%? I might be 50%. I've never heard that commentary at a football game before.
So before we get into everything, because we're gonna break all this down, let's give a shout out, and then we're gonna go to the heartland of America on this one. So, hello, Marion, Iowa, population 41,500. It is a suburb of Cedar Rapids, and it's named after Francis Marion, who has a college as well. He's a hero of the Revolutionary War, and they're known for the Swamp Fox Festival and Parade, and Francis Marion is known as the Swamp Fox, so that's his nickname. And it's also the home of Dom Amici from Cocoon, the actor, the old actor.
Dom Amici.
Dom
I thought you were going to
Amici.
say Dom Irera. Do you guys remember the comedian Dom Irera?
Yes.
I don't.
He was awesome.
He was the prop comic in Seinfeld.
Yes, he was. He was.
Yes.
100%.
Wait,
yeah.
Don Amici, wasn't he one of the Duke brothers in Trading Places?
I
Is that
think
him?
he was. I think Dom Amici.
He
might
was
have been
Mortimer,
Mortimer.
I think.
He might have been Mortimer. You might be right.
Remember? Mortimer,
You
your
might be
brother's
right
ill. We
with
should
that.
get him to the hospital. Fuck him. Turn those machines back on.
What was the name of the town,
Right.
Scott?
It was Marion, Iowa.
And it's a suburb of Cedar Rapids.
Cedar
Rapids has a
Rapids.
suburb. I mean, I've been there. It's a nice little town, but I wouldn't think it had a suburb of Cedar Rapids. Isn't that a suburb of something else?
Yeah.
No,
that's
but you should
you're
know
all
this. So
over that.
where's Francis Marion College? It's not
It's
in
in
Iowa,
South
is
Carolina.
it?
It's in South Carolina.
That's what I thought. I thought it was in
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Very interesting. So, got to give a shout out first off to our downloads this week. We had a ton of downloads. We had 9 foreign countries, including Paraguay, which shows you that there's 9 countries that can read English better than a second language can than I did last week. So it was close to another Bengals episode, but guys, I bowl on Monday night. We record on Monday nights, and tonight I sober bowled and we lost all of our games.
Can't
So
Don't do that
So
again.
now you're
So
blaming
I'm
the
either-
pod for your bowling loss?
I'm either pissing off my bowling team or I'm pissing off you guys. I'm stuck here.
Nah, man.
I don't know what to do.
We enjoy it.
It is kind of funny.
And looking back at it, though, I was painful trying to read some of those questions. I almost have to apologize to Peacock.
Yeah, we got late in the show there. It got a little dark in here. Yeah.
I even gave a Bengals starters type question when I started talking about Schefter's report on Shedeur Sanders.
You
So
did it twice.
You
That's
doubled
right.
up. You doubled up.
And then you had something about a kicker, and I had to try to save you and give you an answer with a question I didn't really know what it was.
so tonight we're back on track. But the Giants and Jets are both 0-3, so I don't know what on track is. So the Giants-Jets game, guys. Look, I mean, what I have a biggest problem with, there's no game plan. You know,
No.
there's not a game plan there, and the worst part about this is we are now a dumb team. Like, I think about the Giants historically as being a smart team, but we're not. You know, there were a couple times there we ran Scatabo up the middle, good yardage. What does that set up? It sets up a play action. But what do we do next? We go from an empty backfield. You know, so what are you setting up? There's nothing there that you're planning. And you know, I go back to this last year even. There was a time, I remember there were 3 games where we had situations where there were loose balls and we didn't jump on them. There was one with Singletary that we talked about on this pod. Well, last night, you know, Okirky, just fall on the fucking ball. You don't have to make a play. Just fall on the ball. You're at the 2 fucking yard line. You don't have to worry about now Patrick Mahomes making this all-world play that everyone's talking about as if he's a fucking best defender ever. Just fall on a fucking ball. We don't do the smart things that teams do. We're a dumb team now. And that goes back to coaching. I've fully flipped on what Novak has said before. He's railed on Dable. I don't think Dable has control of this team. I don't think he knows what's up. And guys, I think I think he has to go. He should have gone before this year was done. You don't retain a staff that won 3 games last year or whatever, 4 games.
Yeah, I agreed with bringing him back, but at this point, I'm like, what else did I agree to? Kicking myself in the nuts. I mean, it's insane. It's insane the way nothing changes. It's insane the way this team is. That's a great point, Scotty. That they're dumb, and it's not just the loose fumble that was out there, but there was another play where Mahomes threw a backward pass, and we're standing around high fiving while the Chiefs pick up the ball. Now, if the refs were more in tune to what was happening there, so they should have let that play roll out. The Chiefs would have scored a touchdown while we're glad handing out there. This team is dumb. They're poorly coached. Dable has no idea what he's doing on the going for it on 4th downs and not. And, he's just all over the place. And he tries a field goal with our punter. It gets blocked. Then the next time we're in field goal range, he just goes for it randomly on 4th and 6. How are the Giants picking up a 4th and 6? Stop it. And then the next time he brings Gano in and Gano's leg falls off as he actually makes a kick. I mean, what are we doing out there? What are we actually doing out there? It's peewee. It's comical. It's get this thing turned around now. And there's a lot of tenured staff on this team. Get Dable out of there. Get us the interim guy in so that at the end of the year we have first crack at coaches and we don't have to wait till hear if Dable's fired or not. Do it now. End it. This is over.
I want to talk about Mike Kafka for a minute because it's more than just Dable. Mike Kafka is without a doubt, hands down, the worst offensive coordinator I think I've seen in my fucking life. Certainly for this team, and maybe in the my entire life of watching this league. Because you know you don't have a big game plan? Let me tell you, these are glaring stats right here. You don't have to look much further than this. Our offense on 3rd down, 1 for 10. On 4th down, 1 for 4. So collectively, guys, that's 2 for 14 to keep drives alive on 3rd and 4th down. We don't have a goddamn clue what we're doing in short yardage situations. We don't know what we want to do. We just don't have, like you already pointed out, Novak. I was going to mention the fact that like early on, we're trying to establish a run with Cam Scatabo in his fucking 3rd game of his NFL career. This red zone offense, good God. I mean, it is deplorable beyond belief. Mike Kafka, we don't do any misdirections. We don't do any pre-snap motion. We don't do. There's nothing to confuse the defense. Regardless of, and Chiefs have a good defense. We played a bad defense in Dallas last week. Okay, so we put up some points, fool's gold, whatever you want to call it, in terms of throwing the ball around, down there in Dallas. But this offense, we saw again. We saw it in week 1, and we saw it yesterday with an offense that has absolutely no clue. And you know what? I don't give a goddamn who's under center. We're talking about Dart, and this and that. And I want to see Jackson Dart too. But what in the hell does it matter when we need a new play caller? When you don't have a play caller that has creativity and knows how to use his talent, we can't get the ball to Malik Neighbors. We couldn't get the ball to Saquon Barkley for years. Now Daniel Jones is tearing up the league. There's a pattern here, people. There's a pattern.
Cardone, I have to tell you this too. I mean, maybe we'll get into this, but it was the last play of the 3rd quarter when Theo Johnson got a catch. It was for 11 yards. And he was the first one out of Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Neighbors to get a catch.
And how can that be,
And
Scott?
it was the
How is that
beginning of the
possible?
fourth quarter, basically.
How can that be?
How does
Think
that
about
happen?
that.
How does that happen?
Because Cam Scatterwood got a 10-yard run. That's why.
Yeah.
You're not
That's
wrong.
why.
No, you're
I'm
not wrong.
serious. That's exactly what happened. And I've been a kind of getting on Dable, Scott, but honestly, I've been against Shane for 2 years now. How? Explain to me how, for the third year in a row, you don't have a kicker in a game?
Yeah.
Like, why is Graham Gano so good in the other games that he's not available that you can't, in the 7th round, draft a kicker?
No, man.
Because
we have
come
a kicker
on,
on
what are you
we have a
doing?
kicker on the practice squad, but the thing is, how many times is Graham Gano going to get injured in warm-ups and fuck
That's
us?
my point. He's
You
a
know?
fragile kicker.
6 minutes
What is the
before
point
kickoff.
of having a fragile kicker?
And by the way, we didn't find out until like 2 minutes before half, which actually happened to Cano. So we heard Tirico say Cano may not be ready for this game. We heard nothing else. We
That's all
didn't
we
know
heard.
if he could kick. We didn't know if he could do anything.
Yep, we've got a punter out there kicking field goals, and they don't think to bring up Graham Gano while that's happening, by the way.
It's just because we have no preparation on or off the field anywhere. We just don't.
No,
I mean, you look around the league, and I know we're going to go around the league a little bit, Scott, but in terms of other games, which I barely even watched yesterday because I knew what was ahead of me in the Sunday night game, and all I know is that we're dicking around with guys like Mike Kafka. The Atlanta Falcons get blown out to their division rival, the Carolina Panthers. Somehow they go ahead and fire their wide receiver coach today. People get fired. Mike Kafka lost his play calling duties 2 years ago. Dable took him over last year. We keep Kafka around to do what? I don't fucking know. And then we give his call. We hand the playbook right back over to Kafka. This guy, he's the worst in the league. He's the worst in the league, guys. Every other team has some kind of creativity. You know why? We joke around all the time. I thought about this. Our favorite one is the tight end tiptoeing, backwards into the. You know why? It's because when you do nothing to confuse a defense and you just run. Did you actually see the patterns that our receivers run? We're still doing the 5-yard turnaround hitch. We could just beat we're just trying to beat people one-on-one, whether it be on the offensive line or our receivers trying to get separation. Why do you think, Darius, even a guy like Malik Neighbors, the Kansas City Chiefs had a great game plan to take Neighbors out of the game. Had one man-to-man, safety over the top, linebackers are floating around, Neighbors couldn't, he was suffocated. Because the Chiefs are saying, we're going to take Neighbors out of the, what are you going to do about it, Giants? You guys, you're not going to do a damn thing. We take away your best player to the point where not even is he not going to get a bunch of catches. He's not even going to sniff a target. And the Giants have no answer. Kafka, we have no game plan whatsoever offensively, and that's why it shows when. And I thought about this too. I was wondering. I always say we talk about it on our pod. How can it be that Travis Kelce is wide open on 3rd and 4 and he's open for a 6-yard gain? You know, I don't know why. Because the Kansas City Chiefs, a team like that, with their creativity over the years, they're confusing defenses. You don't know where the ball's going. They have so much pre-snap motion going on. They do so many different things that a defense is confused. That's why. The Giants don't have any of that. So a defense can just play them straight up, man-to-man, and just absolutely suffocate this team to the tune of 2 for 14 on 3rd and 4th down conversions. It's bullshit. Enough of we are headed for another 3-win season, and we're worried about when to put Jackson Dart in. I should call into WFAN and all these other New York stations, whatever. I want to know, fuck that. I want to know, when is Mike Kaff going to be fired? When is Bowen going to be fired? When is someone going to get fired on this team?
I'll tell you this, though. On the question of Dart, I'd put Dart in now. Because if you look at it, the O-line has been serviceable. I mean, we're not great, but we're a middle of the road offensive line right now. And the way Russell Wilson handled that sequence at the very end of the game, where there were 4 downs, where he never threw and gave anyone a chance to make a play for a touchdown or anything else, it's unconscionable. I don't care who you are. He hit the goalpost twice. That's what you're going to say, Novak.
And a goalpost. The 2 most important plays of the game. And you've got a tackle on a pitch count? What is that?
I'll tell you this. Russell Wilson is a veteran quarterback. How do you go from being first and goal at the 2 to second and goal at the 12 by throwing the ball away. You have to know you're a veteran quarterback. You have to know you can't do that. It doesn't have to be a touchdown, but throw the ball so it looks like someone's catching it or something. He just rifled the thing into fucking the stands.
So I noticed this right away in week 1 where Russell Wilson is just not going to put the ball in danger, right? That's what it seems like. In plays like that, he's like, not there, not there, not there. I'm not going to get sacked. I'm not going to fumble, so I'm going to throw it away. But at the same time as that, he's throwing terrible interceptions. He's making terrible non-veteran decisions, like, throwing the ball into the third row of the seats down the tunnel to cost us 10 yards on first down. Again, why? To Novak's point, we've got Cam Scatabo. All over the field, they're giving him the ball. We get inside the 10, we throw 4 passes. Like, what?
To no one. None of those 4 passes actually were to a guy.
No. And if you're okay, so if you decide I am taking Malik Neighbors out of this game, by God, he is going to have 4 people watching him on every play. If Russell Wilson throws him the ball, it's going to be an interception every time. That means someone else is open.
Where's the playbook from the preseason, guys? I thought about that. I hadn't thought about that at all until like today. We saw some we saw some misdirection. We saw some drag routes. We saw some play action. We saw things going in like where there was movement. I watched those 4 plays again. That's the only thing I really went back and looked at. Like here I am, like the coach, like, well, I got to look at the tape and see what and there's absolutely nowhere to go with the ball. So that's to our point, I guess. We could have just stuffed it in there with Scatabo, I guess. But that's why when teams that are bad in the red zone, like we've been forever, that's why. Because we don't have short yardage play calling. We just don't. We don't have the execution. We certainly don't have the play calling, and we don't have the execution. And then we have a quarterback who just can't even. I was really, fuming at Wilson for first down was bad enough. The 4th down one was absolutely maniacal to throw that. 4th down, dude, just throw it anywhere. He throws it into the fucking goalpost.
You have to give it to someone to make a play. I don't care if you throw an interception at that point.
No,
exactly.
Throw it to someone.
Hey, Cardone, I want to go back to what you said because you're right about firing someone. But I think what's happened, he has no more cards to play with that. Fired Wink Martindale, he's the problem. Saquon Barkley's making too much money, he's the problem. Daniel Jones, he's the problem. Kafka's play calling, that's the problem. I think he's got 1 card left to play, and that's Dart. That's it. He can't do it again.
That's it.
Either he's got to get fired, or Dart's got to be the superstar. That's the only cards left. He's got nothing left.
No, you're right.
You can't, right? You can't fire offensive coordinator because then you've done it again. You blame somebody else. Remember his blustery second year when he's dressing down Daniel Jones on the sideline, making like, I didn't call that play, that's your fault. Or Tyrod Taylor in that, I think it was the Bills game when he made that mistake. This guy he's out of them. He's out of options, and Dart is the only prayer he's got left.
Well, and I'll tell you now, Novak, I think they're going to start Dart next game because if you listen to his presser, and it was beyond what we showed in the opening here, he did not give support to Russell Wilson. He basically said Russell Wilson cost him the game, which is bullshit. There were a lot of reasons they lost that game. But Russell Wilson was a contributor to that. But to blame Russell Wilson is sort of like blaming Daniel Jones, which is what this regime has done up until this point. Like all through preseason. Look at this. We're rolling now because we got rid of Daniel Jones. Well, look at the results. You're 0-3 right now, and you're about to face the Chargers. So don't tell me it was all Daniel Jones.
I don't think he's gonna start him. I don't. I think you're gonna see Dart come in once they're down 2 scores, 3 scores against the Chargers, because I think if you name him the starter, he's got 5 days to get nervous about it, or 4 days to get nervous about it. I think that he's been doing this bullshit, put him in for 2 plays when he's not expecting it thing, and I think that's when he's gonna roll with them because then the crowd is way into it, right? And I think then he gets the crowd behind him that way. If he goes in and they start poorly, it is going to be a disaster. At least if you don't start him and you're down and Dart comes in, you can say, well, he wasn't in the flow of the game. But I just don't, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's going to come in halfway through.
Hey, guys, I don't want to change direction too much, but, we talked about the tush push earlier. We talked about, the Chiefs getting calls before the Giants game. I've heard now at least three different people talk about the fact that the Chiefs and the Eagles deserve the benefit of the doubt on things. There were multiple times that Jawan Taylor or a Chiefs lineman moved early in this game. And one of them is one of them's critical because one of them would have been on a play that was like a 3rd and 17. They didn't call the motion, but they called the Giants for an illegal contact, which gave them a first down. And then on the very next play, they threw downfield and called a pass interference on the Giants way downfield. But here's the thing. Why do the Chiefs and the Eagles deserve anything? Why does the tush push deserve to be able to be called differently than that when another team does it and they call a false start? I don't get it. I don't understand why we're in this area of talking about officials in this regard. The Chiefs right now, they had 2 blatant false starts that weren't called, and it didn't change the tenor of this game, I would say, but it's still one of those things that why are they allowed to get away with that?
Some teams can start their tackles early. You can't deny that. You can look around the league. It's right there. It's every week on paper. And I don't know how many it is. I don't watch that many other games. I know this for a fact. The Chiefs and the Eagles can start their tackles a beat early. Period. They're allowed to do it. Other teams try to do it. They get called for it. I know the Giants can't do it. I'm sure the Giants. I've seen that happen. Well, and then we get this kind of bullshit call, which is probably a good job by Dable, actually. But, that everyone talks about that right tackle of the Chiefs, who essentially lines up in the backfield on every play.
Yeah.
Well, they called him once for it in the game. He lined up in the backfield the rest of the game. They never called him again. Because after that play, I started watching him, and he lined up in the exact same spot every play the rest of the game. It's like they gave him the one token call, and then he just lines up there.
I was just going to mention that, Mike. So I was good segue there. I was just thinking the same exact thing. They called it the one time, and then on the very next play, as I'm watching, I go, he's right back there.
He's in the same spot
because they're certainly not going to call it twice in a row, let alone like the rest of the game. So I think, my opinion, in some ways, I think the Eagles and the Chiefs have just mastered the timing of their own offensive cadence, snap, whatever it is, and I think they're just better at it than most of the NFL.
Have they mastered it, or do the refs just turn a blind eye to it?
I think it's both, Scott.
Because
I think it's both.
There was supposed to be an emphasis on the tush push this week, and yet on 3 tush pushes, the Eagles were offsides on 2 of them, and none of them were called. So I don't know how you get around that when you look, if you're going to put an emphasis on something and you see guards firing out early, there has to be a blatant disregard of what's happening.
Well, what I did like that I heard this week was on 2 different networks, I heard people talking about the tush push and in a negative way. I heard people talk about the tush pushes as in, is this a legal play? The way the Philadelphia Eagles run it, is it legal? And, they were showing clips and they were showing tape of the guards leaving early and they were showing the center's head over the ball. And, they're like, no, this just shouldn't. And then we heard, as Scott mentioned, then we heard they're going to be, instead of trying to outlaw the play, they're just going to try to officiate it correctly. So the Saints get called for exactly looking just like the Eagles when they run it. They look just like it, and the Saints get called for it. But to Scott's point again, the Eagles can run it.
The Saints got called for a false start,
without any regard.
I don't want to go into a whole officiating thing on my end, but what I will say I have noticed this year, the NFL clearly met about it in the offseason. They are doing a lot more of like equal amount of flags for teams, but they find a way to give the preferred teams the inconsequential, holding call on a 1st and 10, right? So that they can say at the end of the game, we still had 15 flags on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And they have done a really good job this year of not doing the bailout, but getting them on the play before the bailout so you don't need the bailout. It's almost like they have flipped the script a little bit to say let's make it better by calling the certain plays at the time when it doesn't really matter. So at the end of the day, we can say, look, they were all flagged the same amount, or if not more for the other team. but they're just inconsequential.
And that's a
Yeah,
good segue, Novak, because, in that Jets Bucs game, there were 20 plus penalties called.
Yeah, a
So
lot
it
on
was
the Bucs.
it was much like the game the Giants played the previous week against the Cowboys. You had on the first drive, I believe, on the Buccaneers, 8 penalties called, which this trend now of all these penalties called is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys have brought something up here that I hadn't thought about that you guys might be all over. So this a lot of penalties in the first half is a trend for this year. I'm not just the Jet game, not just the Giants game. A couple of games I watched this week and last week, there's been like this glut of penalties in the first half, and then they sort of go away as the game goes on. And I don't know what the purpose of that is, but it's almost like the league has told the officials here, if you see it early, call it so they'll stop doing it. But they're not stopping doing the things.
No.
Because they know, just like they've always done. We would talk about this even in the 70s and 80s. Hold on every play, you might get 4 holding calls in a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Well,
and that would be a lot.
Think about all the crazy comebacks we've had this year.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what they're doing. I think in the first half, they're flagging them up, flag fest, Cardone's favorite. Right. And then they get that out of the way. And then by the end of the game, when everything's equal, that's when they say, well, it was equal. We did the same amount of flags for each team, but they hold that in their back pocket, no pun intended, until the last second, and that's when they roll it out so that the team they want to win wins.
Yeah. Not only have there been comebacks, which is ridiculous now, it's also at the last minute drives. So in the league, we know this, guys. We know that there's a part of a design to keep the fan interested. So what happens? Because even on the sports talk shows and the sports centers and the NFL, wild weekend in NFL. They lead off with how many games ended in dramatic fashion. Meanwhile, the other 57 minutes have been put you to sleep in some games, not all of them. But and then so there's and Novak, I like your point of yes, there are penalties. We know the difference between like killer penalties and then other ones that that really wasn't a dagger. You know what I mean? So, and it's true, man. It's almost as if there's a game plan for officials. There is. Let's 100%. Be honest. There's a game plan. So I'm looking. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking. I didn't realize this. I didn't see this. Fucking Buccaneers were assessed 14 penalties for 124 yards. Did you know? Yeah. Did you know that stat?
Look at the Jets penalties too. I mean, I think if you look at
7 for 81.
Yeah, so 21 penalties were assessed.
Yeah,
I think it was 25 flags were thrown.
Well, and it was a lot of it happened, and so I think because I was listening to the game because I was driving back from ECU this weekend, and the Jets were down, multiple scores, and I did pay attention to this. It was 3:15, and there was like 7 minutes left in the game, and I'm going, how is this possible? It's the fastest game ever. The NFL is not going to allow this to be done at 3:35.
How much advertising they would lose? Oh my God.
Exactly. And all of a sudden the Jets made this comeback. There were penalties all over the place, timeouts, like all kinds. And when did it end? 4:10.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we've never even really because we've said before, I don't really think the thing is fixed, right? None of us think that it's rigged, no. Right? But isn't it an interesting, here's one angle we've never thought of before. What if the officials are told, keep this game on TV till 4:00?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what, yeah. And here's the
How
problem,
many
guys.
games end at 3:40?
None.
Ever? What? That seems impossible.
It does seem impossible. The reason why, there's a fucking Pop Warner running clock like it's rec ball. This clock, I mean it, guys. I will continue, and I don't care if our listeners get tired of hearing me say this, but this running clock is an absolute travesty and abomination for this league. Quarters just go away. Every single time I look up, I go, the Giants have had the ball. They ran. There's quarters, not just the Giants. This is around the league. It's an epidemic around the league where teams will run 7 plays in an entire quarter.
Yeah.
The drives are lasting 10 minutes because the completion percentage is in the 70s, which never used to happen years ago, and the clock never stops running.
No.
Yeah.
The Jets Bucs game, the third quarter, the Bucs had it for 9 minutes. The Jets had it for 6. The whole quarter, 2 possessions.
So 1 possession each in an
Yes,
entire quarter.
Entire quarter, and that's why the game was going so fast.
I look at stuff, guys. Everyone, we get obsessed with like statistics in terms of yardage and that. I look at how many plays did the team run. And the box scores, it used to be in an NFL game, each team would run at least like 75 plays, sometimes 80. You'd have at least 11 drives. Now, 8 drives. The Giants ran, I think, 61 plays. So basically, at one point, going into the fourth quarter, the Giants had run, I think, 38 offensive plays going into the fourth quarter. 38. Or maybe it was 36, whatever. It was something in the 30s. I go, this is nuts. This is nuts.
That's crazy.
By the way, the Lions kicker just tried a field goal at the end of the half for 67 yards. He missed it, but he had the
length.
distance.
He had the distance.
He had the distance.
67.
So, I'll tell you this about the Jets game. That blocked field goal that happened from the Jets was great. The celebration by Aaron Glenn.
Oh, so this is what I was going to go into.
Yeah.
All right.
So look, I started out the year, as you know, I'm trying to buy into Aaron Glenn. I got into him in week 1. Last week, I was not happy with him, and I think I'm falling further away from this guy. And my biggest issue, and this is where my rant is going to be, he gets in the press conference after the game, after we just lost another excruciating kick in the nuts game, and he goes, "This isn't the same old Jets." Well, let me tell you something, Aaron Glenn. He goes, "I don't even know what that means." Let me tell you what it means. Same old Jets is having a first-time head coach and a first-time GM running this team again. Same old Jets is signing the worst quarterback in the league as your starting quarterback for $40 million. Same old Jets is talking about your offensive line all offseason and then have him go down and practice your best offensive lineman 3 days before the game starts. Same old Jets is getting beaten by a broken down 41-year-old freak show on week 1 that after he shit all over your organization for 2 years. Same old Jets is coming back in week 2 and having 27 yards passing. And the same old Jets is saying, we're not same old Jets. That's what every other coach says. You are the same old Jets until you do something different. And you know what different is? You guys know what different is?
Winning.
This guy has got to stop with his bravado. There is none. And then the same old Jets is having a coach, like Scott said, running down and dancing on the sideline. Get out of here with that.
Yeah. You can't dance on the sideline with over a minute left in today's NFL.
I was as excited as he was when it happened, and then I saw 145. I'm like, well, both teams will have another chance to score.
You can't dance with 25 seconds left.
Yeah.
We lost last week with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a limb. I think that was the best special teams play I've ever seen in my life. Will McDonald. Jumping over the line, blocking the kick, and picking it up and running it 70 yards.
Yeah, he did the whole thing. He did all of it.
It was the best play I've ever seen on special teams in my life. And I know I'm biased, but it was incredible. The athleticism. Get out of here with that.
And here's where you get it for the game, Novak. It wasn't just, talk about him dancing, but Baker Mayfield then is ripping your defensive coordinator because he was the defensive coordinator of the Panthers when he got cut there, saying, "Hey, this is the guy that cut me." Come on, for Christ's sake.
He's a defensive coordinator. He didn't cut anybody. What the hell is he talking about?
Well, he was the head coach then.
Oh, okay.
But my point, Steve Wilkes is known around the league, from what Boomer Esiason said. I was listening to him on FAN today, for never changing scheme, and he's a terrible coach. But yet the Jets hire him as their D coordinator. So what do they expect? It's the same thing. And you know what? Next week they're going to lose to the Dolphins, and I'm going to be sitting here saying the same damn thing. This team is a joke. Actually, we're a worse joke than you because we have no history. But it's got to be this Met death. I'm sorry. I keep going back to that, Cardone. You're it has got something about this stadium, I think, has made these organizations just trash. Because name one thing positive that's happened since they've been in this place, other than your one playoff appearance.
Yep. Nothing.
And we got a ton of stuff from. Oh, go ahead, Novak or Cardone.
No. It's okay. I'll come back to Met death later on. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was going to bring it up, but I'll get back to it.
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff from around the league here, though. But we already talked about the tush push and the false start there. But you got a ton of stuff going on here. You got the genius of Ben Johnson now. They played the fucking Cowboys like the Giants did, and there were guys gushing over Caleb Williams. They're talking about this offense being an offense that's unstoppable. I can't wrap my mind around like the comments that are being made about a team playing the worst defense possibly in the NFL.
I don't think it's a possibly thing. And it might just be that the Cowboys defense looks worse because they really stink at stopping big plays, and that kind of makes you look really bad. But, you know, the Bears get a little bit of a break now. You know, they got the Raiders and they got a bye. So they're going to get a few weeks of love. I mean, you know, we don't get a break. We're not getting a break.
You guys really don't. How do you have the Chargers now?
No.
Good God.
No, we don't get a break. So we got to go just get pummeled again. And then, you know, drag our sorry asses into New Orleans, right? For what we thought when we were looking at the schedule might be one of the few chances for a win. Hell, I don't know if they beat New Orleans or not. I don't want to look that far ahead, but yeah, it's the Ben Johnson thing. You can tell they had all this book of things they wanted to say, and they've been waiting. And finally the Dallas game happens and they just start throwing everything out of the book at you. You know, not impressed. Caleb Williams, to me, you know, I'm not going to make any Justin Fields proclamations here, but I will say this guy sucks.
Ben Johnson is 1-2, by the way. Just want to say that he's
Yeah,
one.
that's
And
what
the
I mean.
Cowboys, that Cowboys defense is just
It's
the
atrocious.
worst. It's
Yeah.
awful. It's the worst in the league, and I don't think it's close. Maybe
Yeah.
the Saints because they're so bad, but my God, that Cowboys defense is just atrocious.
Well, and if you don't want to talk about Ben Johnson, guys, how about the Falcons? Penix, who people raved about last year, they got rid of Kirk Cousins for. These Falcons were shut out by the Carolina Panthers, and it wasn't even close. I mean, it wasn't like the Falcons were in the game. And people talking about Michael Penix Jr., for fuck's sake, this guy is not good.
He stinks too.
I went around the league just in my head today around just, and like I said, I didn't watch a lot of the afternoon games, just preparing for my loss, last night. But obviously looking at the scores, going around the league and thinking about just thinking about teams and competing, guys. And I'll throw the Jets as well. Like I thought, so the Panthers Falcons for a minute. Can you guys imagine? I'll start with the Giant. I'll start with Mike and Scott first. Can you imagine the New York Giants beating a division opponent by a 30-0 score?
No,
I don't care like what kind of problems Atlanta's having, whatever with Penix and that. The Carolina Panthers somehow rose up to the fact of shutting out a team in the NFL, which is incredibly difficult to do. Teams rise up. The Browns rose up and beat a good Packer team. The Vikings with McCarthy are demolishing people. Seattle, I know Saints stink, but people win games. Teams compete with backup quarterbacks and every other stuff.
Yeah.
We're making, we're bagging on the Bears, and I agree. I think Caleb Williams sucks, and he's gonna suck. But they still
won.
managed a way to demolish the Cowboys by 17, a team we just lost to.
A team we just lost to. Yep.
The Saints are the 49ers. They win a game with Mac Jones.
Exactly.
Mac Jones. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Every
that's
team finds a way.
Teams find a way. I mean, the Steeler fan base, they've been trying to run Tomlin out of town for a decade. All this guy does is win. The Steelers fight. They somehow they get 5 takeaways from a Patriot team yesterday. The Giants can't. The Giants have had 16, I think, in the last 20 games with Bowen as our defensive coordinator. The Steelers are getting 5 in one game. Teams fucking rise up and win and compete, and they play exciting football.
What about the Commanders dropping 41 with Marcus
Exactly.
Mariota?
How can you imagine? Can you imagine the Giants starting Marcus Mariota? You think we're putting up 41 points? Can you, Novak? Imagine next week. Imagine the Jets beating a division opponent 30-0, like the Carolina Panthers.
Never happened.
Yeah.
The Giants knocking off imagine Giants just beat the Cowboys last week 30-0. It's not even conceivable on any spectrum, and it happens around the league.
Everybody.
Yeah. For everybody.
Yeah.
I got one more, and here's another new one. This is going on now. Here's another statistic. I was scrolling around and saw this one today, and I had to bring it up. I didn't know when I was going to bring it up. So I might as well find it. I might as well slip it in right now. Why not? So last night, the Giants scored just 9 points against the Chiefs on Sunday night and have now gone 12 straight home openers without scoring 20 points, which is the longest streak by a team in NFL history. So here we go again with the New York Giants setting historical futility records in this league. This is going on not every year, like every other week of every year now. The Giants are setting some kind of historical mark. This is insanity, guys. And they fell by by the way, footnote, they're now 2-19 in primetime games since 2019, which obviously is the worst record in the NFL over that span. This is disgusting.
2-19?
2-19 in primetime games since 2019. 2-19.
That might even
How
be
have we
worse than
played
the
21? How have we played 21 games?
Well,
Who's putting us on primetime TV?
Well,
who'd we
I would
beat?
ask this.
What are the two wins?
I don't have any idea.
I would ask this. So, how many of those games were we favored? I think we beat Washington one of them.
Oh, Washington was one. The other one,
we probably beat Washington in 2 of them.
it probably was.
They were probably Sunday night games against Washington. Those are the only primetime games I remember winning.
So
Gus
again,
Frerotte
I'll bring it up.
sticking his head in a wall.
Yeah, the Met death. As soon as we talk about this all the time. The Giants put up 37 points, throwing the ball all over the joint down in Big D last week. They come home to this Met death, absolute death trap of a stadium. And after the first quarter, I was texting my brother and I said, "Here we go." I go, it's a Met death game again. It's a prime time Met death, which is especially a Met death game. Met death and prime time. It's guys. There's no answer to this. There's no end to this. No answer to this.
All right, guys. I have to ask you a question. When is the last time you ever saw a girlfriend or a wife on the sideline of any game?
I don't even look for that stuff. Who knows?
I have no idea.
So if I were to look like a Dabo, at Clemson, I think his last time his wife was on the sideline was at the after they won the national championship and she came down there. Why is Belichick's girlfriend allowed on the sideline of the game every fucking week?
Look, man.
There's footage of her every week talking to him during the game.
I went to the UNC Charlotte game a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting in the Carolina section. And I had like not front row, but I was like 4th or 5th row back, right on the side. She stood outside of the players' locker room and fist bumped everyone as they came in after the game.
Oh no, she didn't.
Yes, she did. I have a picture of it. I'll show you next time I see you guys. I got it on my camera. She looks like she's 12, first of all. She's annoying as hell, and she's out there fist bumping the players as they come off the game. Get out of here.
This wasn't really an around the NFL thing, but I just asked myself, when is Belichick's girlfriend or any girlfriend allowed on the sidelines? Like we were talking about that at the Clemson game because, like, Dabo is a very successful college coach, and his wife has only been on the sidelines at the conclusion of a national championship.
Well, Jim Irsay's daughter apparently wears a headset on the sideline, so there's
well,
something
she's
there.
now a part owner at least.
Okay, but still. Oh, and by the way, good thing for the Giants. One good statistic this week: the Colts punted once.
Yeah.
Oh, the Colts finally punted. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
they punted once.
Good.
One time.
By the way, my favorite around the league story of this year, which happened last year, but they were talking about it this year, is when Caleb Williams got drafted and told the Bears punter,
"Oh
"See,
yeah,
I'm just about to make your job
great.
real easy." And I heard this week that since he said that, the Bears have punted more times than any other team in the NFL, and he has more punt yards than Caleb Williams has pass yards.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
That's unreal. That is awesome. That's
That is
awesome.
great.
So, guys, Giants, Chargers. anything to talk about in this preview? I mean, here's what I think Jackson Dart makes his debut in this game and throws his first pass. I don't know how much play he'll get, but
Well,
I
so go ahead.
think he's coming in.
So they called a pass with Jackson Dart, right? He pulled it and ran, but it looked like he was going to throw the ball to me. I thought so anyway. But anyway, it's funny that you asked me to comment on this game because I was just watching Rocky 3 downstairs before I came up.
Oh, geez, we got Drago.
Yeah, no, Rocky 3, not 4.
Oh, Clubber.
Clubber
Lang.
Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang.
Yeah, and right when I was coming up the stairs, Clubber Lang said, "Predictions? Pain." Seems like a pretty fitting thing here. There's nothing here to break down. Justin Herbert is the kind of quarterback that's just going to torture the Giants because he's not super good, but he gets rid of the ball quick. And he's the typical guy, average, run of the mill quarterback, just out there in the middle of the pack. But the Giants are going to make him look like Joe Montana. There's no doubt. Why? Here's another thing we talked about earlier. The Giants are getting pressure, and if you do a 7-step drop against the Giants, even with 4, they're going to be there. Someone's going to be there. So teams are just not doing that. So why aren't we undercutting routes? Why aren't we, why are we still 10 yards off defenders if we know our pass rush is getting home? Anyway, that's side note, but probably not a side note. It's another reason we won't beat the Chargers. But this whole thing needs a reevaluation. They're not gonna rise up and beat the Clippers this week.
No way.
They just don't do that. It's not going to happen.
No chance.
No, this game will be. And they were coaching. Dable's coaching against Jim Harbaugh. Oh my God. There's no chance.
They're not going to win, Mike. I will say this though, and I really think this is a possibility. The Giants may actually injure Herbert because I think Herbert, he's a guy that takes a lot of chances and he stands in and takes a hit.
You're gonna get some of those.
He's a different quarterback than Mahomes, and that Mahomes will get out of pressure and throw the ball. Herbert stays in the pocket and throws the ball a lot of times. I think you might see a couple where Carter hits him and it impacts the throw and the Giants get a possibility of a pick. It won't matter because the Giants will probably be down too much at that point, but you might see some issues like that.
Love it. I don't want to not love it as in I want to see him get injured. I just want to see the Giants get some pressure on the quarterback and get a couple turnovers. But
yeah. By the way, the Jets are playing Miami, and this is an interesting one because we come on the air on Monday.
Says who?
Well, I was going to say, because we come on the air on Mondays. I think we're going to come on the air next Wednesday. Yeah. But the Jets are one of 2 Monday night games, which is a pet peeve of ours. So I think the Jets have a real shot in this game. Miami is a mess.
Great. If they got a chance to beat a shitty 0-3 team on Monday Night Football.
I am just saying.
I know, you're right. You're not wrong. I don't think the Jets have a prayer to win this game in Miami. I don't. I mean, the way that they've been playing, I don't see it. I'll get into predictions in a little bit, but this is going to be a god awful, boring AFC East. Just who wants to watch this?
Awful game.
Monday Night Football, really?
It'll either be that or it'll be one of those 46-40 games that everyone loves, but that goes on till after midnight because of all the passing. The best thing about this game to me, guys, is that it starts at 7:15, which means I have a chance to watch more of it.
Good. Well, but, I like that. I assumed it was the normal time, but okay. I knew it was Monday night at least.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing. There's 2 games next week. When does that? How long does that continue this year? What are we doing?
The Jets game is 7:00. I think the late game is at 9.
Uh-huh.
I could be wrong.
Who's the second game? Is it another AFC South game?
Let me get
Well, I will
Raiders
tell you what
and
the second-
So it's
yeah,
the
who's
Raiders,
that?
right?
Titans Colts.
Was
Is
it
it
week
like
4?
AFC South?
Titans Colts.
The second
Please tell
game
me that they
is
don't.
Cincinnati at Denver.
No, that's a bore fest too. Please tell me
But
that the
here's the
AFC
thing-
South is not playing each other again this weekend.
You
Wait,
know
here's
that.
here's the thing I'm going to
They
tell you,
can't be.
Novak. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Your game comes out at 7:15. The other game comes on at 8:15. So it's going to be on at the same time.
So
Why?
stupid. I don't know. That's so dumb.
I don't either. I don't know what
mean,
they're doing.
I mean, maybe it was the type of thing where they wanted the Jets Dolphins to play on Monday night, and someone's like, "Well, that can't be the only game in town. That's gonna be a bore fest. So let's put something else up against it." I don't know.
So for the record, Nova, yes, there is as is every week, Titans at Texans next week. So there is an AFC South game on the slate every single week. Every week.
Mathematically, that's impossible, but somehow it
Somehow
happens.
there is.
Yeah. I don't understand it.
I don't know.
So, guys, predictions. Mike, I'll tee it up for you.
All right, thank you. All right, here we go, guys. We had a survival pool loser this week. We had the Green Bay Packers going down to the deadly and dangerous
Cleveland Browns.
Thank you. And so Novak gets a 2-losser on that one. However, Novak also resets, so he can pick any team he wants.
All right.
Starting now as he resets. The rest of us, I had Kansas City. Cardone had Seattle. Scotty had Buffalo. So we all survived. The records now, again, they're getting high quick because of the suicide pick. But Mike and Cardone have not lost this year. 12-0. 12-0.
That's impressive.
Cost is 11-1, and Novak is 9-3 due to his double banger loss this week. So we do start with Novak.
Okay. I thought I go last.
No, that's right. No, me and you go first, Mike.
Well,
That's right.
Oh, that's right, because you want the people ahead to pick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got you. You're right. So, all right, I'll go first. I have, for all the reasons we just came off of, I've got the Chargers beating the Giants much like they just got beat this past week. So I'll say 28-10 for the clip. And then, man, I really just don't want to ruin my unbeaten streak here. I want to pick the Jets really bad. I really do, but I don't want to be removed from the unbeaten. But this game is in Miami. So I am going to go ahead and pick the Dolphins, and I think it's going to be the opposite of what Novak thinks. I think this is one of those where there's some special team scores, defense score, there's some sloppy play, and the score gets up there a little bit. I'm going to pick Miami to win 31-28 on that one, and my stone cold lock pick of the week is the Buffalo Bills, which they play the Saints, in case anyone doesn't know, at Buffalo.
So I'll start with the clip first, and there's not much to. This game's at MetDeath. There's no way the Giants get right against a Charger team that has a really good defense. I don't care that it's a 1:00 game for a West Coast team. That shit doesn't matter anymore. This is a bad Giants team that's just becoming more and more dysfunctional each week. I got Harbaugh in the clip coming in. Beating the Giants 26-16. I don't know how we're going to get 16 points, but that's what I've got. I figure like we're going to have some kicking disasters. So that's going to be a missed extra point or some bullshit. I don't know. So, but give me the Chargers 26-16. And much like you guys, I think the Jets and Miami kind of struggle to pick my winner for this one, but for no other reason than just maybe just trying to go different or whatever. I had a bad week in my other pool, whatever. And so I'm going with the Jets this week. I'm going with the Jets. I got them winning 24-20. I just think Miami they're dysfunctional right now too. And I don't have a good reason as to why the Jets will win other than I feel like they play well in Miami most years down there. And it's usually a close game with the Dolphins. And I just figured I just got a hunch the Jets are going to figure out a way to pull that out for whatever reason. Give me the Jets 24-20. And my lock, I have not taken. It's the. I was going to pick either between Buffalo or Detroit, Pat. I think because Detroit's playing the Browns at home, but I will settle. I have not picked the Buffalo Bills yet. I will go the Buffalo Bills as my lock over the Saints, who I just picked as my lock for the Seahawks yesterday. So we should put like a little spin on that too. You should not be able to pick the same losing team either. That should be a good one too.
Well, I'm following the Giants all over the place. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't pick the
But as long as
Clippers this week.
if we want to add that maybe later in the year or something like that. But give me the Bills as my lock. So I got the Clip, the Jets, the Bills.
Cardone, do you recall who you've already picked? I see here you picked
do.
Baltimore.
I can go. I wrote it down tonight, so I have it right here. So week 1, I picked Denver over Tennessee.
Yep.
Then I picked Baltimore over Cleveland, I think.
Yep.
Then I picked Seattle
last week.
and now I have Buffalo. So yep.
Scott's up.
Yep.
Scott is up.
So for me, guys, I really think the Giants have a shot in this game. They're not going to win. I had mentioned it before that I think they might injure Herbert. They're going to put a lot of pressure on him, but the Chargers are going to win this game. I'll say 27-13. I also am with Cardone on this. The Jets are the Jets. Jets are going to win this game. They are going to beat Miami because Miami is pathetic, and the Jets are going to win this game 21-14. And my lock, I think, Mike, I have this team available, is Denver.
Okay. You picked Denver in week 1.
Did I pick Denver in
Yep,
week 1?
because I have you for Denver, Baltimore, Buffalo.
All right,
that were the 3 weeks. Denver, Baltimore, Buffalo.
Then I'm going to have to go to a new one. Week 4, I am going to go with, this is a tough one, Detroit.
So, for my picks, I'm going to start with my Jets. And let me tell you why this game is going to go the way it is. I have 2 teams that I root for, that I love, going down to the city of Miami this weekend. That would be the Mets in their final series of the year, and that would be the Jets to play the Dolphins. The Mets are going to get knocked out of the playoffs in Miami down there by some shitty Marlins team. And while they're down there, all the Jets and Mets fans, the Dolphins are going to whip up on the Jets. So I've got the Dolphins here 24-10 over the Jets. The Giants, I think you have no shot in this game. I would be shocked if you were close. It was close. I don't know how you can watch any of the games the Giants have played this year and think they're going to have a prayer in hell of this Charger team that looks well coached, well organized, on a roll, a lot of weapons, good defense. I got the Chargers here 31-7. Yep. And then for my lock, I'm going to go chalk here and just take the Bills. How can you not take them if I get to reset?
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I've got it.
All right.
We got a clean sweep of the Clip. Scott and I on the Jets, and we got our locks in.
Novak and Mike on Miami. Yep. And we got Buffalo, Detroit, Buffalo.
So we got Pet Peeves now. I'll start with Novak.
Yep. So I hate to beat a dead horse with my pet peeve, but I'm going to do it. Look, you guys have said to me individually and as a group that I'm allowed to talk about the Giants more, that you want my opinion on this. So I've been doing that a lot more. So at this point, I don't care. I'm just going to go all the way here. And this is not directed at you 3, but it is directed at Giant fans, because I was listening to WFAN all day today. And there's people calling in upset that the Giants are being lumped in with the Jets and the Browns. I got a news flash for you Giant fans, not you 3. You suck just as bad as the Jets. I don't care that you've got a great history. I understand that. It was 15 years ago. 15 years or 14 years, whatever. You can't talk about your history and say we're not as a bottom feeder when you've been this bad for this long. You can't do it. I'm worse. I agree. I wish to God when I was a young kid, I decided to be a Giants fan. But it doesn't matter. That's so long ago now. You have no connection to those teams anymore. No players, no coaches, no, not even a kicker that was on that team is still in your organization. So you can't do that. And just a couple stats to throw out as to why you're just as bad. In the last 15 years, the Jets have 93 wins. You know how many the Giants have over that time? 97.
I was going to say it's. I thought it was right at or less.
I thought
the
we
Browns?
were worse.
And
You
the
know the
Browns,
Browns?
which I have, the Browns have won 83. So you're one game better a year than the Browns. The Browns, the laughing stock of all sports, even worse than the Jets. So my pet peeve is you can't talk about the history and say that we're too good to be lumped in with the Jets and the Browns. Guess what? You are.
No, and haven't been for a long time.
Listen, if you may, no, if you guys don't mind, can I pile on Novak's pet peeve here? And I'm going to pile on how bad the Giants are, because I had the same kind of conversation where, well, at least you're not the Jets and the Browns. You know what? You're right. We're worse. We're worse than those teams right now. Because this was so of all the stats I've seen so far, today, just from 3 weeks into the season, I think this is my favorite, and I'll trot it out right now because this is what we're dealing with, and for Giant fans, this is what we're dealing with, okay? And I'm going to take out 2022, but excluding the 22 season, the Giants haven't been over 500 at any point in a season since 2016. So. Yeah. They literally not one time in 8 seasons. So this goes back to 2017, excluding 2022, Daboll's first year where we were only 9-7. The New York Giants have not been over 500. Think about that. That's like a 2-1 start, a 3-2 start, something where you're just where you're alive early in the season. That is, it's incomprehensible. That's the New York Giants right now. That's who we are.
And in those numbers that I gave you, I forgot to trot out this one. The Browns had a 3-year stretch where they won a total of 4 games, 3, 1, and 0. And they still only have 14 less wins than the Giants and 10 than the Jets. I mean, look, I get it. I'm pathetic, but I've been that way my whole life. 15 years is too long to still talk about history. I'm sorry.
No, it is. And riding on that is lame. I mean, listen, if we talk history, the Browns have a pretty good history too, depending on how far you want to go back. But it's it's pathetic, and it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because people still remember the Giants beating the Patriots, but I don't feel like that's just Giant fans. I feel like people in general don't, like people I work with, and they come up, oh, Giants lost a close one, or whatever people at work do, which is annoying anyway. But I don't think they understand how bad the Giants actually are sometimes. When they say that, I'm like, yeah, why is that a surprise? Like, they're pathetic.
Nobody realizes it. It's because of that. It's because it just gets glossed over by past, I'm one of those guys too, like that talks about, I talk about trophies and Super Bowl championships and stuff. That's more of just a thank God we won that, more than just kind of a throw it in another fan base's face, except maybe Philly or something, but
that is fair.
Yeah. Hey, well, but I tell you, that has no steam. It just does. It holds no weight right now. Nothing.
Holds nothing right now.
Nothing.
By the way, the Express just got a golf to a St. Brown touchdown for.
Great.
Wait for the flag.
No flag. So I'll go next since I'm talking. I got 2. The first is just, guys, the roughing the passer calls in the NFL and college. These ideas that you're dropping weight on a player or you're driving a guy into the ground. I don't know how you enforce this. I really don't. I mean, every time I see a roughing the passer where they say you've roughed someone by driving them to the ground, I see players trying to avoid driving the player into the ground, and yet they call it anyway.
See that a lot.
And there's no way around it. But I don't know why that's even part of the penalty. Should the penalty just be X amount of steps, you hit the guy, it's a penalty? Or you hit the guy in the head, that's a penalty. Why are we talking about driving a guy into the ground or putting his weight on him? And I'll take it a step further. If you want to say driving the guy in the ground or putting the weight on him, make it be obvious. Make it be blatant before you call it.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we tie a scale to the back of the quarterback's ass and then but pre-game, why don't we weigh every defensive lineman or linebacker, whomever, and then the scale, we go to the scale and we subtract then, or the weight of the quarterback and how much of the defensive. Well, if Zanarovich weighs 340 pounds and the scale showed a weight of 610 minus the fucking pads and minus, then we know, like, you know what? And then make it like 82% or more of his body weight has to fall on the quarterback. So you know what? We went to the scale. And it was 84.7% of the weight, so it's a 15-yarder. Why don't we do that?
Or here's an alternative thing: we could just make the quarterbacks play football again. That's just another possible.
Or just have the fucking have the training camp red jerseys on the quarterback, and just you can't. You're not allowed to tackle him. And you could tackle everybody else, can't tackle the guy with the red fucking jersey. How about that?
Or just put flags on him. I think we're going there anyway, but might as well just put flags on him. Of course, that's a whole new level of controversy now. Did the flag fully detach? No, there's 2 micromillimeters of Velcro still clinging to the flag as he lets go of this ball.
No, it's incredible the amount of gymnastics we do talk about that. My second pet peeve is really on me. I mean, I have a cloud of suck around me. And, the only team I can think of that really gets rid of the cloud of suck is the Yankees. But like we've talked about the Yankees numerous times. The Yankees are the Dallas Cowboys of baseball.
Yes.
They've done nothing for 20 years? And so we're sitting in the stands watching the Syracuse Clemson game that I went to this weekend. And the guy next to me is like, "Why is Clemson so bad?" And I said to him, "Because you're sitting next to me. This is the cloud of suck. This is what it is." And he made the comment, "So are you Pigpen, with the old, dustbin that's around Pigpen?" I said, "I think I might be Pigpen, because if you think about it, my enjoyment of sports right now is really nothing. I mean, the Rangers don't do anything. The Knicks, I haven't followed in years. Clemson sports now it's in the dustbin. So I don't even know what to do with this. The Giants suck.
You know what I got to say to this? This pet peeve? Fuck all the way off, dude. I've got 2 championships in my lifetime.
But
You've got the Yankees and the Giants.
You have the same thing, Novak. You have the same thing. You have a cloud of suck too.
Listen
I
to
think
me.
at
I
the
am
moment
the
we
epitome
all
of
do.
the cloud of suck, Scott. Don't try to take that title from me. You got no business calling yourself that. None.
For I am Costanza.
Yes, I am the one. I am the king.
Lord of the losers. What was it?
Lord of the idiots.
Lord of the idiots.
But we have a new contender.
Yankee fan telling me you get out of here. With
Cloud
that.
of suck.
I think we're all a little bit in the cloud of suck. I mean, the only team I have that I actually enjoy watching and don't want to vomit is the Michigan Wolverines, and that's not because they're not that good. They're young, and there's a lot of young players on the team, and I enjoy watching them. I think I kind of feel about them the way you guys would talk about App State a few years ago. Just like it's fun. It's a fun, thing. But the Islanders are going to suck again. It's a cloud of suck. It's a cloud. Being
Cloud of suck.
a New York-based sport. I got the Pirates. My God, like you guys, I know the Yankees and Mets are not doing crap, but they're not the Pirates, for crying out loud. Yeah, we're all living under the cloud of suck. Maybe it's because we all know Scott. Maybe we all need to break up with Scott. Maybe that's what it is.
This puts it under a new thing of glue. But even with App State, I mean, their former coach was 50 years old. He's died this
drops
week.
dead. I know.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even a head coach anymore. He was an offensive coordinator for what,
UCF.
South Florida?
Central
UCF.
Florida.
UCF. Yeah.
UCF. No, that was kind of shocking news. I did hear that come across the wire today, and I think it's funny you said like this cloud of suck. That's a big part of the dysfunction, the depression, the mental straitjacket that I feel like I wear all around the season, because all of our seasons overlap. We're sports fans of the whole calendar year. It's not just football. We all we have the Knicks together. Scott and I have the Yankees. So yeah, it's relentless losing.
Yep.
It's relentless.
You know what I realized too, and I hadn't really thought about this before, but if one of my teams in any other sport would get really good, I might be primed to have football become my secondary sport right now.
100%, Mike. Yes. I'm right there with you.
Like if the Islanders came out and won 27 of their first 30 games or something, I wouldn't give a shit about the rest of the Giants season.
I'm right there with you.
You go to where you have a chance to be excited about something.
Right.
Yeah. I
Of course.
enjoyed the Mets run last year. Was the best I've felt in years.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Novak. Pet peeve?
I already went.
He went.
Oh, Mike.
Thank you. I got what I'm going to call here my announcer potpourri, and this is around the league. And it's funny, I had one written down, and then I heard Aikman talking about it when I was down there watching the game. So I'm like, yes, it's going to be a timely pet peeve. So a lot of things, like you think back, and maybe for our generation, maybe Madden was the first announcer that we heard say some of these things. It may have been someone before him, you know what I mean? But for us, it was Madden who said these things. And at one time, they were profound comments. And they're just not anymore. They're cliche and they're dumb. And the one I want to talk about first tonight is when announcers get a Woody Johnson, so not the Jets owner, a stiffy, I'll say it that way, when a wide receiver blocks somebody. The announcers like Aikman downstairs, if you want to talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown, the first thing you're going to talk about is this blocking. Like, shut up. They say it they say it about every great receiver now. That they can block, even though the evidence might be to the contrary. This is just a cliche thing. They think it makes them sound like the smartest guy in the room. People like that. Like when I evaluate receivers, I don't look at I don't look at yak or possession catches, or I look at the blocking. No, you don't. Shut your mouth. That's number one in my announcer potpourri. Here's my other one. This one may have been done by Cardone years ago, but it's a very Cardone-esque pet peeve. Why do announcers have to compare kicking to golf? Why do you get out the wedge? This one's just a wedge. You know what? Why do they have to do that? It's epidemic. Like kicking to golf. I drew it. They always use golf terms, and I think even on Bucker's big kick last night, they're like right down the fairway.
Yes.
I think that's the one that set me off. It's like, come on, can't. Like it's the same
Tirico
thing.
used that one. Yep, down the fairway.
It's the same thing with they think they're clever when they say a baseball game has a football score, or a football game has a baseball. It's the same type of thing. And my last one, I noticed this because it happened in both the Michigan and the Giants game this weekend, is announcers think they're really smart when they tell you that a minute and 40 seconds is 100 seconds.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that one up.
They think they are math geniuses, and they can't wait. Like the clock's ticking, they're like 100 seconds left in the half. Like they always have to go. They're just dying for 140, man.
Or even like a minute 67 seconds left in the game. Who talks like that? That's a great one, Mike.
Yeah, that's my wide receiver, or not wide receiver. That was my announcer annoyance potpourri this weekend.
I like stuff. It. Great. Cardone, pet peeve?
So, I like to go around the league usually. I think you guys know I like to grab something from around the league, whatever it may be. But if you notice, the last few weeks, it's been nothing. It's been all Giants. And my pet peeves this week will continue that trend. And I've got two. and they're specifically about one's about the Giants, a couple players, and then the other one I'll get to. But we kind of already covered this earlier, so and I didn't mind that. That's fine. We talked about Graham Gano and the fact that this guy, but really it's more not even Gano. It's really I got absolute disdain for Jamie Gillian, that Aussie, or not even
really
like
do.
we keep calling him an
He's
Aussie,
Scottish.
the Scottish Hammer. I want this guy as far away from the New York Giant organization as possible. How is it that like Chad Ochocinco can come off the bench and drill extra points, and this guy Gillian can't get? Speaking, you want to do a golf term? This guy is skull jobbing a 3-iron 5 feet off the ground. This guy, I mean, punters, it's a fucking extra point, Gillian, and this guy is drilling one to the back of into the helmet of the chief rusher on the special teams there. So. But my second part of this peeve is really, how can it be, guys, that Gano knows that he can't extend his leg enough for a 33-yard kick, which, by the way, is like kicking a wiffle ball for these fucking guys, right? Because they kick from 70 now. But later in the game, this asshole trots out on the field and kicks a 25-yarder. So somehow those 8 yards are going to put so much stress, tension, and pressure on his hamstring, whatever the hell was wrong with him, groin or whatever, that he couldn't kick a ball 8 yards deep. Get the fuck out of here, man. No. So just that, which didn't have anything to do with the outcome of the game. And then my second one, maybe a much less noticeable one, but early in the game, as Giant fans, we're wondering where Malik Neighbors is in the game, right? Why can't we get the ball to Malik Neighbors? Why does he have no targets? Chris Collinsworth, throughout the broadcast, kept mentioning it over and over. And the Kansas City Chiefs are just doing a great job of shutting down Malik Neighbors. He doesn't have any targets. I'm barking on the couch. I know he doesn't have any fucking targets, Collinsworth. The reason why I don't know why is that I cannot get an isolation camera on the best player on our team. And one of the best receivers in the National Football League. If this was CeeDee Lamb, there'd be 4 isolation cameras on this guy every play. Somehow Malik Neighbors doesn't garner enough attention or notoriety in this league to get an isolation camera from NBC. Because I couldn't figure out why we couldn't get a target to Malik Neighbors.
Never saw. Yeah.
Collinsworth was mentioning it over and over. I'm like, well, where's the fucking camera on Neighbors? You know how they do the isolation camera all the time?
Absolutely. They do it
Where
all the
was
time.
It? Did you guys notice that? They didn't show it
I did it, but now
once.
that you bring it up, I did.
They didn't. You get Robert Saleh 95 times a half when he was coaching the Jets. I can't get Malik Neighbors, one of the best receivers in the league. I couldn't get a camera on the guy to see how the Chiefs were taking him out of the game. Jesus Christ, it was unbelievable. These are the little things that that's the game within the game kind of stuff that drives me insane, because I wanted to understand why we couldn't even get a target, a ball thrown in his direction. What were the Chiefs doing? And guess what? Maybe, hey, Bowen, maybe pay attention and do some copycatting of what they're doing. So whoever we play next week and the week after, we take away their best receiver. Because I tell you what, Malik Neighbors was absolutely invisible, and it has a lot to do with the Chiefs shutting him down, a lot to do with the camera not having being able to show what he was doing, and a lot more to do with our play calling and Mike Kafka. But not having an isolation camera, I was barking at the screen at Collinsworth midway through the third quarter. They finally showed him in the third quarter.
So, and then here's another question, Cardone. Why is any receiver great if that's that easy to do?
Yep.
How is CeeDee Lamb? How is Justin Jefferson? If I'm playing the Cowboys, especially this year, and I'm capable of doing what the Chiefs did to Neighbors, you just do that. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he's the whole reason Dallas beat us. Why couldn't we take CeeDee Lamb away from Dallas? Why?
Mike, I think I'd like to attribute it to something I said earlier tonight. Even is that because when the offense does nothing to confuse the defense, you can just lock in on a guy.
Yeah,
and that's And that's why when you see guys, when you see a Justin Jefferson, when you see one of these best receivers in the league, like how the hell is Jamar Chase just left wide open? Because the defense is they got 14 things to worry about before the ball's snapped.
Yep.
Against the Giants, you have nothing to worry about.
So, guys, we've got a lot of questions tonight. my friend Tom, um, he opines in, and I think this might be why we've seen a lot of other fans like being fans of us. He said, "I'm a Ravens fan, but I love the podcast. Honestly, it's the best in taking on the NFL." So, Tom, I love that comment. But he asks, "How do we do this without a script?" Um,
Can-
Tom, like the four of us know each other a lot, and we really just give each other room to talk. I'd say we have a. I don't think we have a script. But we have a an agenda
We
for
have
each
we have a
podcast.
good cadence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have and they give us a case to go on. So that's what I would say.
I think we've been watching. All four of us have watched football our entire lives. So I think it's just I think we observe a lot of the game within the game, and we're able to comment on it and just notice things that maybe the average football fan wouldn't see, and we're able to talk about it. I think here on the pod, that's just my take a little bit. I think we just know the game really well, not to pat ourselves on the back, but I don't know. I think we just pay attention to a lot of the details of the game.
I agree with you, and I think the operative word is angry. And I think we're all angry. Yes, you're angry about the Giants, yes, and I'm angry about the Jets. But at the end of the day, I think we're more angry about the state of the NFL. We said it
Absolutely.
before.
Yeah.
It is not what it used to be. It was like a religion on Sunday for so much of my life. It meant so much of my life to think about it all week, get ready for the week on Sunday. And now we're to a point you can tell we're just kind of like, ugh, I got to sit through the fucking Jets again for 3 hours or the Giants for 3 hours. It's not what it used to be. And this is a nice outlet for us. So I would actually throw it back to your friend Tom and say, if you think that we should focus more on the NFL and why we're angry about that, I think we would
we can do
love
it.
to. We would love to.
Yeah.
Because I think we're running out of things to say about
Yeah.
the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might turn in next week if the Jets and Giants look the same. You might tune into a new branded broadcast that just is a replay of this.
It might be We Hate the NFL podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Let's do it. I mean, the other thing is, the only thing I'd add to that is, we notice these little things, all four of us. And I think as we started talking about football with each other, we were dying laughing because you're like, I thought I was the only person who noticed that.
Yes.
I thought I was the only person who noticed that there's only holding on 1st and 10. I
Yes.
thought I was the only person who noticed all these different things, and it turns out that no, these guys get it. They know what I'm talking about, and so we have this outlet. Like my wife doesn't give a shit that they only call illegal contact on third and 3, but you guys do. So this is a great place for me to come and do that. And I will say that I think we're especially angry when the Giants or Jets playing Sunday night. Because I think that Sunday night broadcast is the most watered down for the casual fan broadcast of any
Sport.
Any sport. It is absolutely watered down to the lowest common denominator. It is meant for girls and people who don't pay a lot of attention to football. It totally is, I mean, and you could tell the Giants are missing a fucking kicker last night. And we don't know about that till just before halftime. I mean, it's a casual mention at the beginning of the game, and no one says another word about it. While the Giants are going for it on 4th and 6, no one says, maybe they're doing this because they don't have a kicker. Like, are you kidding me with that?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely kidding me with that?
No,
I agree.
So Peacock asks, which NFC East team will win the most division titles in the next 5 years? And guys, I'm just going to go with the Eagles. You can't say otherwise.
I
mean,
Philly.
I think that's
They may win all 5. I mean,
exactly. I mean,
things change fast, but I don't. Washington's certainly improved, and Jaden Daniels is certainly a good player, but they're not, and they're not going to be for the foreseeable future. Philly good.
absolutely not.
Philly may be the. I'm not. This is. I mean, they may. I don't want to use the word dynasty, but they have they just for some reason have the look of a potential dynasty. They really do.
I agree.
They have the league. What do I say? the league seal of being the dynasty.
They have the seal of approval.
The seal of
do.
approval. That's
No doubt.
possible. So Peacock also asks, is Aaron Glenn the real deal, or is he trying too hard to emulate Dan Campbell? And I think he's talking about that dance down the sideline and everything else. So
Look, I've talked about it. I talked about it before. It's the same old Jets. This whole tough guy bravado thing works if you win, and when you don't, it goes south incredibly fast.
Yeah.
And I just unless they turn it around, I think he's got about 6 weeks. And then if they are, I don't know, 0-10, 1-9, 2-8, this guy could be a 1-year wonder. I can't believe I'm saying that after 3 weeks, but it's very possible that that's the case. I like him. I want to believe in this guy because he was a Jet. I do like the bravado, but when you don't win, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. We've seen it too many times. Mike Singletary, go down the list of former players that came in with this tough guy thing, and when it doesn't happen, everyone loses faith.
You've even seen it before up close, Novak, right, with Rex.
Rex Ryan, but at least
Rex.
he won.
Yeah.
But the second he started losing,
the second he didn't.
Yeah.
the second he did it out the door, right?
It just gets old fast.
Remember the Viking, Mike Tice? Remember that guy? That loser went in there. I'm a former offensive lineman. We're gonna break the kneecaps. He was like a Dan Campbell kind of guy. He was gone in 2 years. I mean, that's the thing with these guys. We'll see what happens. My mind is open.
Yeah.
I'm praying that it works because God, what else do I have to root for?
Yeah, I agree. I think the book's still out on him. Dan Campbell didn't have a great first year in Detroit either.
No.
Sometimes things take time.
I don't think he'll be around long. I don't think he's a real deal. If that's Peacock's question, is he real deal? I think he's not. He'll be gone.
We'll be here in a year.
Yep.
I actually
right.
I like Aaron Glenn, but I also know that there's other things other than what you portray yourself as that end up making sure that you stay whether you're the coach or not. So I don't know what will happen.
I get it.
So Peacock also asks, is Daniel Jones the real deal or is it an illusion? And I'll say this. Look, I think Mike summed it up perfectly last pod. Daniel Jones he's a competent NFL quarterback. That's what he was with the Giants. That's what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the best. He's not the worst. He is a NFL starting caliber quarterback.
No doubt.
Yep.
Listen, we said it here for a number of years. We don't know if this guy's good. He might be playing behind the worst offensive line in the league for several years. The guy's obviously a talented quarterback. Yeah, man. I think I think he's the real deal for that team right now. I know it's only 3 games, but I think even 3 is enough of a sample size already to show that, man, whatever, it's working. And the guy, listen, he just has a comfort about him that he's playing with confidence and he's playing behind in a system that is right for him. And yeah, man, I think the guy, I think he's you want to talk about real deal? Yeah, the guy's the real deal right now. He is. I do.
Yep.
I'll go full Denny Green on that one. Daniel Jones is who we thought he was. and most of you chumps listening and Giant fans listening were dead wrong about the guy. Just dead wrong. Because you can't see, you just take wins and losses and apply them to a quarterback. You can't evaluate terrible wide receiver play. You can't evaluate terrible offensive line play. You can't evaluate what the opponent is taking away from you because your coaches suck. You just look at the guy and know his record's bad, which, by the way, they're like, oh, the Giants have won 4 games since he's been the starter. Well, he only played about half of those because his offensive line is completely incompetent, and they got him killed in the first half of every year. Is he the real deal? It depends on your definition of real deal. Is he going to go out and win 6 Super Bowls? No, he's not going to do that. Is he exactly what I thought he might be when he left the Giants, which is, as Scott said, and I think the key word in what Scott said there was starter. He's not a backup in this league. He is one of the 32 best quarterbacks playing in this league right now. Mm-hmm. And he might be 15th, he might be 14th, he might be 19th. but he's not garbage, and he never has been. And the people who said that are idiot, know-nothing fans, period. And announcers, by the way, and talking heads on TV who said the same shit.
And by the way, that is what we said here on this podcast. We said Daniel Jones is not the issue with the Giants.
Never was.
Never was.
No.
So we also have a question from my friend Mike. He asks, if you own the Giants, who would you want to bring in to replace Dable and Schoen? And guys, I can't replace this because I can't go and say, a lot of people say, well, bring in, Chucky or bring in, they talk about guys like, bringing Cowher.
I know where Mike's going, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
There's one guy out there.
Yep.
And if their fan base for some reason doesn't want him and their ownership thinks that he's run his course there, I would fire Dable tomorrow to bring Mike Tomlin to this team.
Yep. Yeah.
I would be pumped.
You're going to get him. I'm telling you, mark it down. It's happening because the Dick is going to torpedo that team too.
Yeah. I'm not so sure. I mean, I would do this. I would take Tomlin in a heartbeat too. I don't know that or see that happening. I don't know. For the question, I don't have a guy in mind. I certainly don't have a GM in mind. That's the problem. GM. Listen, I don't know who GMs. But as far as a head coach, I don't know. I don't have a target. I don't have my eye on a specific guy right now. I don't. So that's at 3 games in. I don't know. I don't have a specific coach out there. Tomlin, I would take him in a heartbeat. I know that.
I can tell you what you don't want to do. Don't take the hot coordinator that is good because he has a good quarterback. You've done that. You've been down that road.
I know.
That does not work in this league. How many times are we going to do it? Have some creativity. And I know you did with Joe Judge, but that didn't work either.
Oh, Christ.
You got to be better than that. Yeah, I would. This question started out with if you're the owner of this team, right? So if I were the owner of the Giants, especially with the bravado comments I made at the end of the last year, which John Maris said, if things look like this a year from now, then there is going to be hell to pay.
Good.
And we're not quite a year, but it's obvious after 3 weeks where this team is going. I am letting Daboll go today, and I don't care. We're going to lose anyway. I don't give a shit. Promote a defensive coordinator. Put the special teams. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'd fire Daboll, Kafka. I'd get Gilligan, whatever his name is, Gillian, the hell off my team. Slayton, Gano, and Evan Neal. Gone. Dart starts the next game. That's what I'd do if I was the owner of the New York Giants. We can't pull another punter off the street right now. Can't average better than 39. No, bullshit. We can.
Pull a better punter off of this podcast.
So, very specific question, because I didn't realize this, but he also asked, what vendors would you want at Met Death since the food court is reportedly so bad? I don't know.
That's weird. I have to be. It's gotta be Coke. Gotta be Coke products.
Panda Express or something like that. I have no idea.
You gotta have Coke products. That's all I really care about. I gotta be able to get a Diet Coke when I'm there, and a good hot dog. Every stadium's got to have a good hot dog.
And then a third question is even more sort of bizarre. So, do you have solar panels in anything you do, or are you considering it?
Is this guy a solar panel salesman?
I'm not going with solar panels.
What is it? Is he looking are we looking for a sponsorship for the?
We will pimp solar panels.
Oh, of course. Are you kidding me? We'll weave that into any pod we can.
We'd be happy to.
Yeah.
You know what I do with Met Death if I own it? I put solar panels right around the whole thing.
Where do you buy solar panels?
I don't know.
I'll tell you where
I,
you buy 'em.
I really don't know either.
Every year I go to the Italian festival down here in Fort Mill, and I get absolutely hunted down by people trying to sell me solar panels.
I've seen that,
Solar
Mike.
panels.
Where
Yes.
They talk about solar panels.
Yeah.
You're like, where have I ever seen this before?
It's like the price you have to pay to get a good Italian sausage down there. You gotta fight off the solar panel sales rep. I figured it out though. I just start telling them now every year when we go. I'm like, I bought one last year. They're great.
Who's
So-
screening these questions? We need a.
I'll give you one more question. This is the end. It's a terrible question too, but chunky or
Do we like
smooth-
skylights? What is it?
chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth peanut butter. What
That
are
I
you,
actually have an
savage?
opinion. It's got to be
Yeah,
smooth.
Oh, smooth for sure.
I like
Agreed.
smooth. Yeah.
I'm with you guys too. So smooth.
It's all smooth. What are we, savages? Chunky peanut butter. I like my bread in one piece after I spread the peanut butter on it.
Yeah, right.
It looked like a road grader went over my bread.
So guys, we've gone a little bit long tonight, but we've not slurred our words doing the questions, and yeah, we're good. So you guys got anything final comments before we go?
I don't. The only thing I do want to say, I am more pumped for a sporting event this weekend than I have in a long time. That is the Ryder Cup.
Ryder Cup.
The
I
Ryder
cannot
Cup, really?
Wait.
Yep.
Go USA. Can I just have that, please?
Yeah.
What-
Give us that one. Get us
Ryder
out of
Cup
the
is
cloud
fun.
of suck.
Oh, it's
I
gonna
don't.
be
I
great.
don't have a take on the Ryder Cup, but I will. What I love about the Ryder Cup is that you can actually root for a golf event, and no one's going to care if you're like USA. You know,
Like
you're
the
going for it.
last vestige. Do you think any of the announcers in the Ryder Cup are going to be, oh man, he hit that like a field goal kicker. He drew that right back through the uprights.
So, guys, we got to give you a heads up. Next week, the Jets play on Monday night, so we're probably going to come on Wednesday. But other than that, we love the support. We love the fact we got a great number of downloads this week. So keep it up.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, we picked on that dude a little bit there, but I'd rather answer questions about solar panels and peanut butter than the Giants, dude.
No,
So
I love the question.
keep
That
them
was
coming.
funny, at least. Yeah, it
keep
was
them
great.
coming.
Keep them coming is right. Good job.
So you guys got anything else?
All good.
Nope. We're gonna shut it down. You have a good
All right.
week. Bye.
See you.